The Panthers beat the Falcons. 24-hour celebration rule, right? 24-hour, enjoy it, embrace it. Wins in the NFL are hard, and it doesn't matter. They're difficult to come by, and it doesn't matter, right? Who you're playing. If you win, go have fun with your family, right? Go out to eat or have them over your house, whatever it is. Do something fun. Then you have to look at the game, and one of the right. Everybody can look and see what you did wrong. Oh, we still need to fix this, right? Everybody can be really self-critical. I'm going to try to do the opposite for the Panthers here. What is sturdy enough to build off of moving forward? Because, as much as we would love to be able to do this, you can't really just say, all right, we know what works. Let's just get an interception down backed up on the opposing team's goal line and run it back 12 yards for a touchdown every game. That's it. There's the key.
Nailed it. Every week. Let's do it.
Championship. Let's make sure Michael Penix is always their quarterback and he's always throwing blindly to his check down in the flat and not really have any awareness of where Shaw Smith-Wade is. If that happens every week, we're good to go. No, so that is something that you have to be opportunistic about, right? If a team makes a mistake, be opportunistic and capitalize on it. But it's not really sturdy enough to build on moving forward, right? It's not sturdy enough to make the foundation of moving forward. So what good aspects of that Falcons win are sturdy enough to build off of moving forward? I'm going to start with just an individual player. Nick Scorton, I think, is somebody who the advanced analytics are going to like a lot more than maybe the back of the trading card statistics, at least early in his career. Right? I'm not sure he's going to be a double-digit sack guy, but he's going to be a guy that when he's on the field, the Panthers play better. And he played a good amount on the field against the Falcons, and the defense played a good amount better than we've seen them.
Oh, yeah.
Dave Canales yesterday spoke about the growth of young players on defense, like their second-round pick, Nick Scorton.
I'm really proud of the way that they're just developing and they're working. I think about just picking one guy, Nick Scorton, who really he works his butt off in practice, and he gives everything he has. He's taking the coaching and the principles, and is it perfect? No, but he learns lessons. He continues to stack lessons, and I can say that, generally for our young group, that they're taking the challenges the right way. They're taking coaching, and it's a trust factor thing, and the trust level will continue to grow with these guys as they show us we can count on them to get in there and execute.
The trust level continues to grow. The trust level from opposing teams towards Nick Scorton is already there. They believe in Nick Scorton faster than maybe Dave Canales and Ichiro Efero believe in Nick Scorton.
I think just the latter part of that. I think Canales did. I think Efero
he's still coming
maybe
around.
Not so much.
According to PFF, which, again, take it with a grain of salt, whatever you want. They do the grades, watching video. Pro Football Focus has Nick Scorton being double-teamed or chipped, so basically being blocked by two players, not just soloed up, at the fifth highest rate in the NFL. Think about that. Now, that might say something about the other guys on the field that he's joined by, but that means other teams are already respecting and deploying their resources towards Nick Scorton, which makes everyone else's job easier. There's kind of two levels of there's great defensive line play and then the alien elite defensive line play. Great defensive line play means you draw double teams. And what that means is everybody else on your defense gets to benefit from you drawing double teams. And then the alien elite are those that routinely beat double teams and not only are being deployed resources to stop, but then winning anyway. That's where you get to the Watts and the Garretts and the Micah Parsons, where it's you're gonna put two guys on me and I'm gonna win anyway. Nick Scorton, I don't think is there yet, but he is moving towards the point where teams are double teaming him enough that the impact will be seen by the ease of job by everybody else rather than his own statistical production. He also had a spin move that he put on tape that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Watching the tape, which is just good for offensive linemen to have to see and prepare for, right? Because now every time he false steps, every time he sets up, they're going to go, is this a spin? Because nobody wants to get put on a highlight tape. Another thing that I think is sturdy enough to build off of, recognizing and asking Trevon Merrick, the safety, and Lathan Ransom, the rookie safety, to do what they're good at. And maybe not expecting more at this point. Merrick has been playing, we talked about it yesterday, a little bit of a safety linebacker hybrid kind of tweener. He's been coming down into the box a lot. He's been helping with run support. Lathan Ransom in a similar fashion. Pro Football Focus among safeties with a minimum of 50 snaps. Ransom ranks first in run defense grade by Pro Football Focus. So these two guys, right, in the, what we talk about, what is game planning, what is scheming, it's finding out what your players do best and putting them in as many different situations to do what they do best. If you can have Merrick and Ransom based on disguise of coverage or based on alignment or based on what personnel is out there on the field with them, if you can have them coming up to stop the run, being physical in the short passing game, hitting people, rather than chasing people and trying to cover people as much as you can, I think that can help out a bunch. And you saw the impact. You saw the impact against Atlanta, right? The harder you hit somebody, the less likely they are to be as enthusiastic the next time they're in a similar situation. That's old school football, actually, right? You hit somebody hard, they're going to stop playing. If you can get those two guys in that position, that'll help out a bunch. And then thirdly, I wanted to have at least one here, sturdy enough to build off of moving forward for the offense. I think it was 24 pass attempts for Bryce.
Yeah, 16 of 24, 121.
8 targets for Tepper McMillan.
Yeah.
I love a third of the targets going to Tepper McMillan. And here's the crazy part. Wasn't a great game for Tepper McMillan.
No, a couple drops.
3 catches out of 8 targets, couple drops. Did make a couple good plays, 48 yards receiving. Mm-hmm. Did flash. I'm not saying it wasn't a good game at all. But what I'm saying is, in the NFL, I think you need a number one option that is always in a defense's head that they don't think they can fully take away. I was watching the Chiefs-Giants game over the weekend, going back and watching some of that, and I think the Giants messed this up, and I think it's a good way to illustrate what I'm talking about. They have Malik Neighbors on their team. Malik Neighbors is really good, okay? They went long stretches where it seemed like they were comfortable just knowing that the Chiefs were making him priority number one, right? Okay, they're putting a corner on him, they're putting a safety over the top, they're giving him bracket coverage, whatever, they're being physical with him and giving extra help. So we're just going to act as if everybody involved in that decision isn't on the field and try to beat you elsewhere, right? All right, Malik Neighbors, that corner and that safety that are guarding him, gone. Now we're playing 10 on 9 over here, thinking the man advantage was that important. When in actuality, you can't just let them eliminate your dude. You still need to use that as a threat, or else they win, right? They want to see you win with Wan'Dale Robinson. I don't think it's a surprise that Russell Wilson was benched immediately following a game where they didn't target or get the ball to Malik Neighbors nearly enough. Looking at how that pertains to the Panthers. Don't let anyone take away Tepper McMillan. I don't care if they give bracket coverage. I don't care if they put their number one corner on him. Don't let anybody think they can take away Tepper McMillan because they want you to try to beat them with Bryce and Tremaine. They want you to try to beat them with Mitchell Evans down the middle or Hunter Renfrow. They want you to try to do that. 8 targets to Tepper McMillan, even when start again to the point where they weren't being as successful. Keep going there. He'll make it work more often than not.
I think this is a conversation maybe we can have tomorrow or later on this week about for T-Mac to have sustained success over the course of this season, someone needs to emerge as a consistent number 2 threat. Because if you look at, for example, you go to Cincinnati, you got Jamar Chase. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to try and start Jamar Chase? Fine. I got T. Higgins right over here. Or any other team has that number 2 threat that, okay, now if this number 2 guy starts cooking, then all of a sudden I kind of lose sight of the number 1 guy. Then he pops off the big play every once in a while, or whatever it might be. But I think he needs to have a consistent number 2 threat.
This is going to sound kind of ridiculous because it's like choosing between like the perfect steak and like a slightly undercooked perfect steak.
Go on.
I think he should be able to get 1,100 yards almost no matter what, if he's as good as an 8th overall pick should be. And I'm not saying this year, but I'm saying once he's in his prime. Mm-hmm. But I do think if you need 1,400 plus, you do need to have a threat somewhere else that can keep defenses honest, right? The difference between like a good Garrett Wilson season right now and a really good Puka Nacua season or something like that, right? A really good Jamar Chase season is often, well, you can't just load up against Justin Jefferson because they have Jordan Addison or Adam Thielen or whoever else was on the other side of that formation. Meanwhile, in New York, Garrett Wilson's going to get his, 1,000, 1,100. But without somebody on the other side kind of keeping teams honest, I don't know if it's possible he gets 1,400, 1,500, which when you're drafting someone, top 10, you want those all-pro seasons, which I think Tedero McMillan has the capability to do.
Maybe when Jalen Coker comes back, he might be that guy. All of a sudden, Coker starts cooking. You're like, wait a second.
It'd be lovely if you find your number 2 to your 8th overall pick as an undrafted free agent and just have them – actually, you know what that sounds like?
What's that?
Sounds like Justin Jefferson or Stephon Diggs and
Adam Thielen.
Yeah. It sounds like Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. Like,
good point.
If your number 2 can be found on the scrap heap, makes a lot of things easier. And even Diggs, I think, was like a 5th rounder, so that was good drafting and development by the old Vikings.